Hello everyone. Hello dear InterCompany colleagues. I am very glad to welcome you to our little Vienna webinar. My name is Hanna Vöger and I am product manager for patisserie and chocolate products at Diamantparados here in Austria. And I'm the host of today's webinar. As unfortunately we were not able to travel during the last year, today we will invite you to an exciting journey to Vienna and discover our brand new patisserie concept, Little Vienna, together during the following 90 minutes with a Q&A in the ending. The webinar is recorded and the link is sent to you afterwards. During this journey, you will be introduced to Viennese coffeehouse culture and we will discover the city of Vienna together. Today, we selected for you 3 delicious Viennese patisserie classics and show you how you can prepare them easily with Diamant products. Besides that, we will tell you the interesting stories behind those specialities and make you familiar with the cultural heritage of Viennese coffeehouse culture. But before going more into details, we prepared a little intro video for you.
We all love traveling. We all love to discover new places, new experiences, special people, authentic tastes and cultural atmosphere. And we dream to taste all of these whenever possible in our everyday lives. That's why Puratos, Austria has been developing delicious solutions to offer worldwide consumers the Viennese spirit, a glimpse of the coffeehouse culture and traditional tastes, all in one dessert range. Little Vienna. Fancy a slice of Viennese coffeehouse tradition? One bite only takes you to the delightful Viennese atmosphere wherever in the world you are. Delight your customers with the most delicious Austrian desserts loved by consumers around the world.
As promised, I will go more into details now and show you what you can expect from today's Little Vienna webinar. As you can see here in the agenda, we will start with an introduction to our Little Vienna concept. We will explain to you what Little Vienna is and provide to you all the information you need to delight your customers with finest Viennese dessert classics, taking advantage from our Little Vienna concept selling approach. Also, in this section, we will give you some interesting background information. And we will point out what the benefits of this concept are, taking consumer insights into account. Then we are going to the main part, the heart of the webinar, the Little Vienna application presentation. For this part, some of my colleagues are joining this webinar to show you the applications from different angles. Today, we picked 3 of our favorite applications from the Little Vienna range that we will discover together. Then we are heading over to my colleague Michael, usually product manager export, but today reporter in Vienna. He will show you inspiring spots in Vienna and will introduce you to Viennese coffeehouse culture, together with our city guide Stefan that we've booked exclusively for you. Going back to the studio, I will give you an overview which of our products you can use to prepare those delicious specialities easily. And finally, for each application, my technical advisor colleagues, Bernie and Oli, today supported by our product manager Niklas, will show you how those applications can be prepared easily and efficiently with the products mentioned before. Following, we have prepared another highlight for you. My colleague Michael We'll guide you through a 360-degree tour in a real Viennese coffee house that you can really see and feel the atmosphere of Viennese culture. Besides that, he will present to you the matching marketing material for our little Vienna concept and show you where you can find it and how you can tell your customers exciting stories about Little Vienna and the Viennese coffee house culture. In the ending, we will have a Q&A session to answer all your questions. There is also Manfred Müller, head of R&D, who will join in order to answer your questions regarding our products. You can put your questions in the box below during the whole webinar, and they will be answered in the ending. Enough introduction for now. I would say, let's get our journey to Vienna started. First of all, you will wonder, what is Little Vienna? To summarize it in a nutshell, Little Vienna is a concept selling and storytelling concept that includes a range of 9 delicious Viennese dessert classics and introduces you to the Viennese coffeehouse culture. This concept includes application recipes, stories to tell, and matching marketing material. Why Little Vienna? Coffee and cake simply go hand in hand. This is a guiding principle of Viennese coffeehouse culture. The slight bitterness of Viennese coffee makes it the perfect pairing with sweet, delicious desserts baked following original recipes. The concept of Viennese desserts has become well established that you can't even imagine a Viennese coffeehouse without those classics, such as apple strudel or Sachertorte. These cake classics have become a fundamental part of coffeehouse culture, and some of the original recipes are already decades or centuries old. Austrians ever since loved their coffeehouses and cake classics. That is why we want to share this concept with you and invite you and your customers to get to know the history, culture, and the taste of Vienna. We want to give you the possibility to delight your customers with the Austrian delightful desserts wherever in the world they are. The history behind the concept. But let's start in the beginning. What is the Viennese coffeehouse culture and what makes it special? In Vienna, coffee is so much more than just a hot drink. Over the centuries, coffee has become a fixed component of Viennese social culture. In Vienna, coffee has even inspired its own cultural movement. Viennese coffeehouse culture is associated with art and great artists who used to create in Viennese coffee houses. The history of coffee houses started already more than 300 years ago when coffee found its way to Austria from Turkey. The first coffee house in Vienna was opened by the Armenian spy Deodato, who had acquired expertise in the art of preparing coffee during his time working for the Viennese imperial court. Over time, coffee houses expanded their offering, providing newspapers to read and, of course, pastries and desserts. As they grew in popularity, they were regarded as a second home by many, and they also became a meeting place for intellectuals, artists, politicians, and writers. Many literary and artistic works were influenced by the lively conversations in coffee houses. In literature, there was even a specific term coined to describe the phenomenon. Kaffeehausliteratur describes literary works that were written in a coffee house. Vienna became the center of this literary trend, which flourished during the fin de siècle era and the Viennese modern age, up until the end of the monarchy. Renowned musicians, artists in the fine arts, architects, writers, and intellectuals love to spend their time in coffee houses. For example, Gustav Klimt, Egon Schiele, Sigmund Freud, and Hugo von Hofmannsthal. Nowadays, you can still enjoy a classic coffee specialty in a pleasant ambience, accompanied by a traditional Viennese dessert. With their historical settings and the unique interiors, like the tonneau chairs and the round marble tables, Viennese coffee houses are the perfect place where you can escape everyday life for a few hours. In 2011, Viennese coffee house culture has even been recognized as social practice by UNESCO, which included it in the list of intangible cultural heritage. How Viennese coffee house could be summed up in one single sentence. UNESCO has the answer for this. Coffee houses are a place where time and space are consumed, but only coffee is on the bill. Delighting your customers with Viennese dessert classics and inviting them to a journey to Little Vienna allows you to offer something new to your customers. And there are some more benefits of this concept selling approach. You can definitely innovate and differentiate with Little Vienna range. It is created to meet the most demanding requirements of professional when it comes to processing and to consumers when it comes to taste and the storytelling approach. Besides that, with this concept, you can bring novelty, open new horizons for the consumers, and create a cultural atmosphere. And already tired of not being able to travel, you can invite them to a journey to Vienna, enjoying Viennese desserts classics. In this concept, we have prepared a variety to extend your dessert range. Although today we will show you only 3 selected specialities. In total, we collected 9 dessert classics for the Little Vienna concept. Michael will show you later on where you can get access to the other recipes. This great variety of original recipes also will give you an extra edge and boost your business. With the products from our product range that we will present to you later on, you have efficient solutions that are easy to use and easy to dose. Finally, the concept is responding to consumers' demand. Consumers confirm that tradition's heritage is the new taste. They love as well exotic and traditional tastes, which are combined in the Little Vienna applications. So there is particular added value combining current food trends with traditional elements. 90% of consumers declare taste the most important choice criterion when they are buying patisserie products. And taste was the main pillar when developing Little Vienna concept. 79% of respondents prefer traditional flavor and pay more for original recipes. The source of this consumer insight is the Taste Tomorrow survey of 2019. And now, let's discover our 3 selected Viennese specialities together and go to the heart of our webinar, the application presentation. We will start with a dessert classic with an extraordinary structure and which is offered in nearly every Viennese coffee house. The Cardinal Slice. The Kardinalschnitte, how it is called in Austria. So the Cardinal Slice convinces dessert lovers with its unique combination of light sponge cake and airy meringue. This combination makes it also visually appealing. The popular dessert is component of any patisserie and coffee house in Austria and gets its finish from its creamy filling that comes in a variety of flavors. I would even say it tastes heavenly. Michael, can you tell us why?
Finally arrived in Vienna. Just a little bit bigger than Wales. So unfortunately, due to the COVID crisis, you aren't allowed to travel. So we have to bring our new concept, the Little Vienna, to you in this way. And that you get all the good and historic information, we organized the tour guide. Stefan.
Hello, welcome to Vienna, Michael.
Thank you. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Directly to our feet lies the beautiful city of Vienna. Vienna is the capital of Austria. It is the biggest city of our republic. It has about 1.9 million inhabitants and consists of 23 different districts. From the rather flat areas around the Danube River to the little hills of the Viennese woods. But we are about to explore the historical town of Vienna, the old town, first district, or as it is called, Innere Stadt in German. You want to go?
For sure. Sounds good.
Follow me, please.
Wow. What a beautiful church. Stefan, can you tell us about this church?
Of course, this is St. Charles Church. This is one of the biggest Baroque churches we have in town. It's made because of a vow Emperor Charles VI promised in the 18th century because of a big, awful disease, the bubonic plague, that if he would survive and if the plague would go off, he would honor God by building this marvelous church. It's a Roman Catholic church because the majority in Austria is still in the Roman Catholic confession. So about 60 to 70% of all the Austrians are. But there is also Roman Catholic inspired desserts. Do you know more about that, Michael?
Yes, Stefan, that's true. At the remarkable time in 1933, the Catholic Church got its own dessert, the Kardinalschnitte. If you see in the pastry shops and all the old coffee houses, you can see a huge variety of this Kardinalschnitte, also with different fillings. But how it looks? So I think nearby is the Café Imperial. So let's go and have a closer look at the Kardinalschnitte.
Of course, come on. Yeah, we're now directly at the Hotel Imperial and on the wonderful Ring Boulevard, the famous street in Vienna. Home of important people, important rich people like company owners, businessmen, but also members of the aristocracy. They were rich enough that they could afford palaces, or as we call it here in Vienna, palais. And the Hotel Imperial was really once a palais, the palais of the Duke of Württemberg. But in 1873, because of the World Exhibition, it turned into a hotel.
As you can see, there's also the Café Imperial, where, for example, Anton Bruckner, Johannes Brahms, or Sigmund Freud have been spent hours and hours. We're drinking coffee and eating really nice and delicious desserts. For example, the Kardinalschnitte, where we talked about before. Yep. And as you see, to honor the Vatican, they choose the colors, the gold for the sponge and the white for the baiser or other fillings. And if you taste one, it's really heavenly taste. So, you want to try?
If you also want to offer this specialty to your customers, I will explain to you which products of our range allow you to prepare this cake. The first product is our Diamant Biscuit Mix mit Ei, our sponge mix with egg. The eggs, as the name already says, are already included, and you only have to add water. You will get a great texture with fine pores, and the product will keep fresh for a long time. And with this product, you will get optimized baking results. Our next product is Eiweißsil, which is perfect for meringue. You have a cleaner labeled product here. It is very easy to process and besides that, also hygienic and safe. You will get products with a good consistency and also for you, a better calculation is possible. And going on to the next product, we have our Diamant Mix Mousse Bavière Café, so with coffee flavor. The creams made out of this product are freeze and thaw stable and have a really good stability. Also, they are cut resistant and the gelatin used in the product is made from bovine animals. Equipped with those 3 products, my colleague Niklas has changed his desks for our bakery studio and will show you, together with our technical advisor Bernie the Baker, how the Kardinalschnitte is prepared efficiently.
Hello my friends, I'm Niklas, Marketing Manager of Diamant Puratus. Today you don't see me wearing a face mask because we did a corona test before. And hooray, I'm negative. Today I will show you how to create nice applications from a little Vienna concept out of our products. I don't have much of a patisserie background. I only help my wife doing the Christmas cookies once a year, and even then she says, yeah, please go away and watch the boy. But with the help of Bernie the Baker, today I will make it. We will do some nice Punschnitte and Kardinalschnitte out of our products. And if I can do that, your customers will do that with no problem. They will do nice applications to delight their consumers. And that's the most important thing at the end. Before we get started, I need to get dressed up like a proper pâtissier. See you soon. Let's get it started. Hey, Bernie the Baker, my friend, how's it going?
Hi Niklas, how are you?
I'm fine. I've heard you also did the corona test today. So what was the result?
I was negative.
Perfect, low 5.
Hi Niklas.
So I'm here today to prepare some applications from our little Vienna concepts, which contains classic applications from the Vienna coffee house culture. Mm-hmm. You see I'm already proper dressed. Do you think we can start?
Almost, because we're gonna wear now some really nice gloves.
Oh, thank you. So the first application I want to start with is the Kardinalschnitte, one of the absolute classics from the Austrian patisserie. So what are the elements we need for this application?
For the Kardinalschnitte we need a baiser, a sponge and a coffee cream.
Oh, that's and it. What's the first thing we should start with?
We're gonna start with the baiser.
Okay, which products are we using for this one?
For the baiser, we're gonna use our Ivasil. There we have to add sugar and water and we're gonna mix it.
Okay, sounds like feasible for me. So let's get it started.
Yeah, let's do it.
So my friend, the first step to make the perfect baiser is mixing Ivasil with sugar. Make sure to whisk slowly by hand in order to avoid dust clouds. Then add water to the mixture and start whisking by hand again to avoid clumps in the mass. Afterwards, start whisking by machine until the baiser becomes stiff. In the meantime, you can prepare the sponge. For the sponge, pour water in a bowl. Then add Diamant biscuit mix with egg. Actually, that's it. Start the machine and mix for 8 to 12 minutes. Now you can deal with the baiser again. Add wheat starch to the baiser before you spread 3 or 4 lines of it on baking paper. Repeat the process until the whole tray is covered with these lines. Now the sponge is ready as well. Put it also in a piping bag and fill it in between the lines of baiser. Afterwards, put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. We suggest 15 minutes at 170 degrees and 15 minutes by 150 degrees. But time and temperature depend on the oven you use. For the coffee cream, you start whipping fresh cream. Instead of dairy cream, you can also use vegan whipping cream. While the machine is wiping the cream, you pour water in a bowl and add mixed mousse pavé coffee. Then you whisk it gently by hand. Make sure no clumps remain in the bowl. Then add a small portion of the fresh cream and whisk it till the cream mass is smooth. Afterwards, you add the rest of the fresh cream and whisk once more. Now spread the coffee cream with a pastry card on the first layer of the finished baked baiser and sponge stripes. Then make the surface smooth and put the second layer on top very carefully. Take care that you don't break it. Then repeat the previous step with the cream. Finally, add the third layer of the baiser and sponge on top. Smoothen the edges with the pastry card. Then put it into the fridge or freezer so that the cardinal slice can be cut in pieces more easily. Before cutting, the cardinal slice is sprinkled with Diamant süßer Schnee to give it the finishing touch. Now the cardinal slice is ready to serve. Enjoy!
So Bernie, are you happy with my performance, my first cardinal slice?
Yeah, I must say it's brilliant. But if I'm honest, it's not surprised with our products from Diamant Paratus.
Yeah, that's true, and also with your guidance.
Yeah.
So if I'm able to make this nice cardinal slice, then I think also our and your customers will be able to do this or even better. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and you will be able to delight your customer with the cardinal slice from the Little Vienna concept.
Well done, Niklas.
Well done, okay.
Thank you for this instruction. Now we will proceed with our next Viennese classic, which is probably the most famous Viennese dessert. No doubt, Sachertorte is the classic par excellence among Viennese desserts. It has almost become a symbol of Vienna, and probably nobody would visit Vienna without tasting this famous specialty. In Austria, there are even rules what is allowed to be called a Sacher. This is held in the Austrian food code. Basically, it is a light and airy Sacher sponge, which is a chocolate sponge, filled with apricot jam and covered with a delicious Sacher, also a chocolate glaze. But let's head over to Michael in Vienna, who will tell us more about the history of the Sacher cake.
So Stefan, we can see a really nice and beautiful building behind us. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, this is the Opera House, opened in 1869, opened with the Mozart opera Don Giovanni. Vienna is often mentioned as the capital of music in the world. A lot of famous musicians have lived here, like Mozart, Beethoven, Haydn. But the opera is not only famous for its music, it's also famous for an event, a very special one, they're called Opera Ball. It's a very famous and fancy address during the ball season.
And I've also heard that behind the opera, just a few meters far away, is the famous and exclusive Hotel Sacher. Sacher, I think we should talk about the Sacher Torte. It's a really great Viennese dessert.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, sure.
The architecture style of the opera house is very remarkable. It is the so-called historicism style, the typical style of the Ring Street era of the second half of the 19th century. Sounds difficult, but they imitated all the styles and they choose a style which could represent the character of the building best. For the opera house, the Renaissance style was chosen because Renaissance was seen as a period of arts and artists, and it's definitely for art from music art.
Okay, Stefan, now behind the opera, we arrived at the Hotel Sacher. It's a really beautiful hotel. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Of course, the Hotel Sacher was built nearly during the same period as the opera house, so in the second half of the 19th century. It was founded by Eduard Sacher, and it became the hotel for the society of Vienna, especially the rich one. Important members of the aristocracy also stayed here, also like film stars. And it became the home of the famous Sacher cake.
As you mentioned, the Sacher cake. The Duke of Metternich commissioned Franz Sacher, the father of Eduard, which was a 16-year-old baker's apprentice, to create a really nice Viennese dessert with ingredients of chocolate, apricot jam, and whipped cream. And if you have a closer look at the Sacher Torte, you can see the delicious, juicy chocolate sponge, the apricot jam layered, and covered in a really nice chocolate glaze. It tastes really wonderful. The Sacher cake also becomes a symbol of Viennese coffee house par excellence. And it's also the landmark of this nice, beautiful hotel. So, you want to enjoy?
Let's try.
Thank you, Michael, for this interesting background information. Now, I will show you some of our products which allow you to make a Sacher-style cake easily. This is not conform to Austrian codex, but at least as delicious as the original cake. If you want to try the real original Sacher cake, we have also prepared the recipe for you. Michael will show you later on where to find it. The first product is our Diamant Schokomix with egg. The processing of this product is really easy, and you will receive consistent quality and very good baking results. You will receive also an even structure and a perfect volume. And on top, you have the delicious chocolate taste. Our next product is Diamant Süße Glasur. It allows you an easy and fast preparation of a sweet glaze based on fondant. It is a real time saver for you. And you will get appealing glazes with a pleasant sweet taste. And our Süße Glasur is now also available without titanium dioxide. Now, my colleague Uli will show you how you can prepare the delicious Sacher-style cake with these products.
Hello, my name is Uli Fischereder and I am Technical Advisor at Diamant Puratus. Today I will show you how to make a Sacher-style cake easy and quickly with our Diamant Schokomix with egg. Our Schokomix allows you to produce a variety of excellent chocolate cakes in a convenient and efficient way by only adding water and butter. That's it. I will also show you how to make the perfect chocolate glaze for the Sacher-style cake with Diamant Süße Glasur. Let's get started. I hope you enjoyed this video and were able to pick up some useful tips for preparing the perfect Sacher-style cake. In case of any questions on our products, please get in touch with your local Diamant Puratus representative. See you next time.
Thank you, Uli. Now we will continue with the next Viennese classic, which does not only taste delicious, but also looks outstanding. If you take a look at the cake displays in the traditional Viennese coffee houses, one speciality will immediately stand out. The colorful pink Punschnitte, punch slice, or Punschkrapferl, how we call it in Austria. It is characterized by its so-called pink punch icing, which covers a combination of light sponge layers, a moist filling of cake crumbs, apricot jam, and rum. Let's have a look what Michael and Stefan can tell us about this creation in Vienna.
There are a lot of hidden courtyards, crooked streets with cobblestones here in Vienna.
And I think that's a really good shortcut to the next coffee house.
Excellent.
So let's walk. So Stefan, we're here at another really beautiful, nice place. But there's written on the wall, Spanische Hofreitschule. Spanish means Spanish. Why Spanish?
We're here at the Hofburg. The Hofburg is the former residence of the Habsburg family and consists of 19 courts and 18 different wings. One of the wings, a Baroque one, was called the riding school or winter riding school. It was there to train horses and riders in a military way. And the first horses that were trained here came from Spain, a special breed of horses. Now it is the location for the famous Lipizzaner shows, the famous breed of white horses that do their performance now in the same riding school.
As you mentioned, the military aspect before, I also learned that in 1683, during the Turkish siege, the coffee culture came to Vienna. A legend reports that the Turkish people were defeated and have left some sacks of coffee beans. Franz Georg Kolchitsky, who really fought for the Austrian monarchy, got these sacks of coffee beans and afterwards also the license to serve the first coffee. And so the history of the Viennese coffee house culture began to rise. And one of these famous coffee houses, old coffee house, is the Café Demel. I think we should have a walk.
Let's go.
Let's look, yeah.
On our way from the Hofburg to the Demel, we're passing the so-called Kohlmarkt. Coal market in English. Once coal was sold here, and coal was a very expensive heating material, and it's still a very high-priced area here because of the famous brands around. And it became also a very exclusive area to live. And we are now heading to a very exclusive address, the famous coffee shop Demel. We have arrived at Demel. The Demel company was already founded in the 18th century, and it became very famous as a court supplier. Even Empress Elizabeth, the wife of Emperor Franz Joseph, bought her beloved suite at Demel. Therefore, it became a fancy address in the Viennese high society. A lot of members of the aristocracy met here. And I think nothing has really changed yet, because it's still visited by people of Vienna.
Yes, Stefan, that's true. Demel is a really famous old coffee house. And if you look into the vitrines, you can see a colorful pink piece of patisserie. It's the Punschnitte or the Punschkrapferl. And if you have a look at these two beauties, you can see inside really juicy sponge in combination with apricot jam layers, breadcrumbs and rum with an extraordinary taste. You want to try one?
Of course.
Thank you, Michael. I am sure you also want to try the punch slice now. That is why I will explain to you with which of our products you can create this cake. The best thing is the punch slice can be made with the products that I've already presented before. You can use the sponge mix with egg that I've presented before, but you can also use the sponge mix without egg. And for this application, you can also use the süße Glasur that I've presented for the last application. It is the perfect dessert to process and rework leftover sponge chunks, adding rum and apricot jam to get a delicious, moist filling. But let's have a look into our bakery studio. My colleagues Niklas and Bernie the baker will show you how this beautiful, eye-catching dessert is prepared easily and quickly.
Okay, Bernie, today I'm interested in one very special application of the Vienna coffee house culture. It has a very great taste and texture and also a very nice optical appeal. So, guess which one I'm talking about?
I think you're talking, is it pink around mostly?
You're right.
That's what we called punch cake or punch slice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one I thought about. Whenever I see one of those little pink things, I really need to taste it. Can you tell me what's so special about them?
About punch cake and punch slice, this is really something special and really for the Austrian patisserie, it's a must. You know, and the good thing is this, you can use the leftovers from the sponges. You just have to add some rum and some apricot jam. You mix it gently, and then you have for the cake a really nice moisture filling.
Okay, so rum and apricot jam, so two typical ingredients of the Vienna, of the Austrian patisserie. So, and also it's practical that the baker can rework materials, so upcycling as we call it nowadays. So how do we get started?
Okay, now first we're gonna have to make sponge. And for the sponge, we're gonna use our biscuit mix without eggs, but also there's the possibility you can use a biscuit mix from Diamant with eggs. Already there are dry eggs inside.
Okay, so it depends on how the customer prefers to work.
Yes, that's true. So, like I said, we're gonna use the one without eggs. You only have to add eggs, water and our Diamant mixture. And then you will have the perfect sponge.
Okay.
For the sponge cake.
Let's get it started.
Let's do it. Start mixing whole eggs and water with the Diamant biscuit mix. I suggest to always start with the liquid ingredients before adding the dry mix. Then whisk the ingredients for about 8 to 10 minutes in the machine. Pretty easy, alright? After that, pour the dough mass into a cake pan and spread it equally so that you get a flat surface. Then bake them for about 9 minutes at 220 to 130 degrees. As always, baking time and temperature depend on the type of oven you use. Now it's time to prepare the filling. First, stir the apricot jam until it's smooth and pour it over the crumbs in the bowl. Then add the rum. Now you will already recognize the nice smell of the later filling. Mix everything by hand, but make sure that still some bigger crumbs pieces remain in the filling for an exciting texture. After you have done that, the sponge in the oven should be ready to take out. Take a knife and cut the sponge loose from the baking dish. Then use a baking paper or a ruler to make the middle of the sponge and cut into halves. Then whisk the jam again and put a thin layer on the first half of the sponge. The next step is to spread the punch filling onto the sponge. Afterwards, the filling is covered with another thin layer of apricot jam. Now you have to be very careful. Put the second half of the sponge on top of the filling, but make sure you don't break it. Now heat up some apricot jam until it's getting liquid and cover the top of the sponge with a thin and even layer. Now you can prepare the pink glaze that gives the application its significant look. Therefore, mix diamantsüße Glasur with water and whisk it by hand until you get a smooth paste. Then heat the mixture to approximately 45 to 50 degrees. You can use a hot plate to do so, or in our case, a microwave oven. When using a microwave, you will need several steps until you bring the glaze to its right temperature. Do not rush in order not to overheat the glaze, otherwise you need to go back to the start. Then add a small drop of red food coloring and whisk the glaze once more to achieve the desired pinkish color. At this stage, you also prepare a small piping bag filled with dark compound coating. For the typical appearance, pour the warm pink glaze over the sponge and immediately spread it even with a palette knife. Apply the compound coating in the still liquid glaze and bring it in nice shape using the back of a knife. If you have done everything right, it's already looking gorgeous. Now you can cool it down so that it's easier to cut into pieces at the end. And voila, we are done.
So Bernie, look at these two nice pieces. I think this is a perfect example for great teamwork.
Yes, I think so too. I think we both did quite a well job.
Okay, so let's try and taste it and see how it melts in the mouth.
It's not good, it's delicious.
Perfect.
Thank you, Bernie and Niklas. Having enjoyed one of those delicious Punschkrapferl, Michael and Stefan want to show you now a last speciality of Vienna.
So it was a really great day here in Vienna, the capital of Austria. We enjoyed so many traditional Austrian coffee specialties, sweet delights. But I think now it's time for a savory break. Stefan?
Yes, Michael, I brought the typical Austrian snack for you, typical Viennese sausages. And I bought them at the hot dog, or as we name it, Würstelstand. Want to try?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Stefan, for the sausages. But before I will enjoy them, I want to thank you for the great day, the whole information you gave us. And I hope we can see you soon again.
I hope so too. It was a pleasure for me, and I hope, till next time.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Goodbye.
That was already our last stop in the historic city of Vienna for today. But well nourished from the traditional Würstel, the Viennese sausages, my colleague Michael has now a further ace up its sleeve, combining traditional Viennese coffeehouse culture with a modern digital approach. But let's see what he has prepared for you.
Dear colleagues, I'm very pleased to invite you to our Yammer page, Little Vienna Original Austrian Pastry. If we haven't added you to this page yet, please just search our page and join. I'm now allowed you to guide you through our Yammer page and bring you a little closer to the previous postings. Therefore, I will share my screen with you. Don't worry, of course, new postings are constantly being added. I use the Yammer app for the tour. It looks a little different in the browser, but the functions are the same. In our feed, you will find general information about Viennese coffeehouse culture, as well as information about famous applications, our products, and information for your customers. Let's just start by posting the top benefits for your customers. As you can see here, these are the 6 most benefits. If we scroll down one post, you can see the collection of possible merchandise material: poster, shelf liners, window stickers, table mats, and many more. They can be personalized for your customers. If you need further data, please just let us know. As you see, most of them are already printable data. You can also find in the feed our Little Vienna recipes and also some how-to videos like you saw some minutes ago. Here you can watch again the video of Uli creating the nice Sacher style cake. If you need the recipes therefore, please just download. You can download all the recipes in the Files Explorer. For example, here you can choose the Cremeschnitte and simply download. Now, we'd like to show you one of our highlights of our digital part, the virtual coffeehouse tour. We were, especially for you, in Vienna and took these wonderful pictures in a beautiful old Viennese coffeehouse, of course with our products. Let's get started. Simply click on the link. A new window is going to be opened. By clicking on play, we can start the tour. Since I like to have it as big as possible, I will maximize the window right away. The feeling is just different. Basically, you can easily control the tour with the mouse. Simply click anywhere in the room, hold down the mouse button and slide to the left or right. While holding down the button, move the mouse up and down. This also changes the perspective. With the mouse scroll, you can also zoom in on the individual places or withdraw a little. You can see such light gray circles on the floor. These are our points of view. When you click on the circles, you're walking through the coffee house. A really beautiful old coffee house with many traditional design elements. The famous marble tables and the wonderful chandeliers. You immediately feel like going straight to the cafe. We have placed our wonderful delicates in some tables. Here you can already see the blue and white markings. When mousing these markings, a small preview window appears. Here you can see which product it is, a small preview image, and of course the link to the recipe. When you click on Grab your recipe, the recipe opens and can also be downloaded in this way. On the right side, the 3 dots, herunterladen or download in English. Then we also have 3 symbols at the bottom left. The first on the far left is the so-called dollhouse. This is a 3D visualization of our entire recording. Let's click on it. Now you can see the whole recording at a glance. You can change this view accordingly with the mouse. Here you can see, for example, that we also have nice shots of the entrance area and the counter. Let's just fly over there. Simply click on the desired location. A quick look at the counter shows the incredible variety. Simply delicious. The Viennese coffeehouse culture has a huge selection of sweet delicates to offer to us. Another of the three symbols, the one in the middle, is the floor plan. Click on it and the rough plan of the entire picture is shown. The same applies here again. Click on the point, then it's going there. You are also welcome to share this tour with your colleagues or your customers. Simply click on the symbol with the three connected circles. After that, the possibilities of how to share this tour open up. When you have looked around carefully and want to end the tour, you can either press escape or click on the full screen mode exit symbol at the bottom right. Then you might be back to Yammer for the latest news. I hope you enjoyed your visit to our virtual coffeehouse tour. And if you've never had the opportunity to visit one directly in Vienna, you have been able to experience a first impression of the wonderful and above all tasty Viennese coffeehouse culture. A short trip to Vienna. Hope to hear soon.
Thank you, Michael. Now we are already at the end of our webinar. If you have any questions, remarks or requests, for example, for some samples, we, the local team of Puratos Austria, are here for you anytime. I will show you quickly whom to contact. You can contact me, Hanna Vöger, Product Manager for Pastry, for general questions regarding the Little Vienna webinar. Also, my colleague Michael Rescheneder, Product Manager Export, is at your disposal anytime, especially for questions regarding marketing material and the digital material. Last but not least, Susanne Bieber, Key Account Manager Export, who some of you might already know is there for you for any further questions regarding sales and so on. Now we are already at the last point of our webinar. We are starting our Q&A session. And for this reason, I'm very glad to welcome Manfred Müller, Head of R&D, to help me to answer your questions. Hello, Manfred.
Hello.
You can put all your questions now in the box below and we will answer them. So don't hesitate to ask us all your questions. Manfred, did you enjoy our journey to Little Vienna?
Yes, very much. I'm originally from Vienna.
But, really?
You know, you never know the city where you grow up in so well. When you come as a visitor, you see how it really looks, the nice places.
Of course. So, there we have some comment. Congrats, it looks amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, thank you for attending this webinar. So, up to now.
If you need anything, just send an email. We send the TDSs. Our TAs are expert in doing those products.
Exactly. So.
Doesn't look like it. Huh? Great.
Yeah. Thank you very much. If there are no further questions, but as told before, and also as Manfred mentioned, we are there for you all the time. So thank you very much for attending today's webinar. And also thank you very much for joining our journey to Little Vienna. Have a nice day. Thank you, Manfred.
Thank you, Hannah.
Goodbye.
Bye.